I know you're a change maker and you do everything you can to read the right books and be up to date with the latest language and treat people around you not only with respect, but trying to question and think twice about your biases or prejudices, and you're really committed to doing the right thing at the right time. Well, what I want to share with you today is that if you feel like sometimes, no matter what you do and no matter how hard you try, you still seem to step on some toes and you still seem to do the wrong thing, what I want to talk with you about today are 4 ways you may be actually confusing trauma with social justice work. So, in social justice spaces, oftentimes there is people are proposing, of course, that you be more informed, that you be more sensitive, and that you pay attention to other people's experiences, feelings, and emotions. And it is important. It is important for us to build a new society by walking in the world more attentively to others' needs. And sometimes in social justice spaces, it can go a little overboard and fostering things like codependency or trauma behaviors. So if you feel like you're trying to do all the right things and say the right thing at the right time, but you're still getting shot down and you're still not successful in creating a work environment that you want, it may just be that you're bumping against some of these codependent tendencies or some of these tendencies to facilitate or to foster not the healthiest of behaviors for everyone involved. If this is you, I am listening because I have 4 tips for you. I'm Rita Fierro. I'm a social justice consultant and coach, and also a trauma survivor myself. I've been in the social justice activism space for almost 30 years now, and I am both a physical and a trauma survivor. And so a lot of my social justice work has been informed by my also needing to heal myself. So these are 4 ways that I've noticed sometimes in social justice spaces we have normalized trauma. So the first thing I want to say is wallflower. There's a lot of talk about how it's important for white people to take a step back and not dominate conversations. That is absolutely true. It is important for white folks to be able to listen, especially to listen to folks with direct experience and folks of color, to not dominate the discussion by taking up all the airtime. And we have to be careful to not go to the other excess. I've seen situations in which white people were so concerned with taking up too much airtime that they didn't speak up at all. That's not healthy. You also have your own leadership in a situation. You have your own voice and you have your own vision. It's important to be in spaces that allow you to express that voice and that vision as well. 2, bad boundaries. I was talking with a coaching client just the other day, and she was telling me how one of her supervisors had allowed a supervisor in a conversation with a client. And she really thought it was a violation of that person's confidentiality, or it was really that person would have been better off having a conversation with them without the supervisor being present. And it was interesting to me because the person I was coaching noticed immediately that this person, her supervisor, had bad boundaries also in other areas of their life, and not just in this particular instance. People who don't really have good boundaries, who have a hard time saying no to anyone in their personal life, will often do that in the social justice space as well. And it'll seem like they're being nice, or they're being appropriate, or they're being mindful, and sometimes it can be people pleasing. That is trying to get the validation of the other person. We see this especially when people overwork themselves, because knowing how to say, no, I need a break, is part of healthy behavior and healthy having healed from a variety of different trauma effects. But it's a signal of not only being mature, but also of not living from fear. To know what your needs are. You're responsible for your mental and your physical and well-being. If you need to say no to take a break, by all means, take a break. Third, approval. So also in the social justice space, it's very common that there are certain types of behaviors and thoughts that are considered normal or appropriate, while others are not. Now, if we're talking about, again, like giving airtime to other people and being able to listen deeply, of course, by all means do it. But sometimes with the things that are normal, such as not taking a break or buying more expensive food or traveling, if the things that aren't normal in that space are actually things that are important to you and that bring you joy and happiness, do not give up on them. It's extremely important that you don't serve the world by giving up on what's good for you. You don't serve the world by trying to get everyone's approval. That's people pleasing. And that's often the norm in families where the needs of children are being dismissed because the adults are dysfunctional in some way, and all the airtime is focused on adult behavior. Like, if that was normal in your family, it's pretty normal that you're going to end up in spaces where that is also normalized. Not for that reason is it correct. The fourth is hypervigilance. Trying to always predict who's going to be upset by what you say before you say it. Trying to calculate in minimum details what people's reactions are going to be to what you say before you say it. That may seem sensitive and being mindful. It actually can be hypervigilance. And hypervigilance, again, in dysfunctional families is really encouraged because it helps children survive extremely unstable circumstances by trying to always calculate ahead of time what the next emergency is. If you find yourself constantly calculating what you think people are going to question about what you say and how you say it, consider that possibly could be hypervigilance, and you may be taking the be mindful of what you say just a little too far. If this is you, if any of these things resonate with you, if you either tend to show up in the social justice space as a wallflower or hypervigilant or with bad boundaries or looking for other people's approval, consider that there may be something more at play than you just learning more about social justice and reading the next book. It may be time to get back to therapy and find a trauma therapist that can help you through these things. Just because a behavior is normalized in a certain community, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's healthy. Looking forward to hearing how this goes for you and what your vision is and how this contributes for you to expand. If you want to have more of an in-depth conversation, drop me a personal message, book a call with me, and I'd be happy to have more of a conversation about what challenges are you experiencing in the social justice space and to what extent that is your trauma at play or actually your need to grow and expand so your vision can grow and expand. Nice talking with you. Bye.